With Halloween night and trick-or-treating less than 36 hours away at this point, I figured what better time to introduce some last-minute Halloween 3D prints. So over the last day or so, I've gone through and taken 7 different 3D prints from MakerWorld that are all Halloween themed, some of them just decorations, and others you can actually put to use during trick-or-treating. Let's dive in. So the first one up on my list is more of a decoration, if you will. It's this little jack-o'-lantern Tealight candle holder. It prints in 4 separate parts, 2 different colors. You don't need an AMS system to actually print this thing out. Essentially, you've got your jack-o'-lantern base. You've got this little orange part that goes on the top. This green part can be printed with an AMS, but it doesn't need to be. If you choose not to use an AMS system, it easily glues in right to the top of this base here. Then that slots into the top just like that to kind of close off the top part. You've got this little bottom piece here that secures your Tealight. You can find these Tealights on Amazon. I have them linked down in the description below, although I'm not sure if they'll arrive in time for Halloween. But they just slot right into place. And then this part caps it off, and you've got a little window decoration or something you can put on your front porch. So when kids come up to do trick-or-treating, you can set this outside, put it in a windowsill, on a fireplace in case you're having Halloween get-together. This thing doesn't take long to print at all. Times are up on the screen right now. It does require some minimal supports to hold these front teeth up, but for a nice little decoration to put outside again or somewhere inside for Halloween night, I thought it was pretty cool. Plus, with the top coming off like this, you could even throw some little candy in there, or other Halloween decorations if you want to. Now, number 2 on the list is another decoration. It's just this little haunted house. Also features a Tealight on the inside. I don't know how well you're actually gonna be able to see this in the video, but I'll try to put some B-roll shots up so you can see what it looks like. This prints in 4 separate parts. You've got the top of the roof here. You've got this front plate, the back part of the house, and then on the inside of the front plate, there's some white that I printed out on a separate printer. Only takes about 12 minutes to do. Very thin, so the light can still pass through it. You could also choose to print this out with an AMS system or multicolor system. That way you don't have to glue it together, but it doesn't take very long at all to throw some glue on there, so that's the route that I went. Top just slides into place like that, and then you've got your little Halloween decoration haunted house. Again, something for a Halloween party. Set it outside during trick-or-treating just to liven the place up a little bit. You could print this out of many different colors. You could print the windows out of something different as well. I just chose black and the white because that's what the colors were on the MakerWorld listing, and I thought they looked pretty good. Now, this might look like an ordinary green PLA printed sign, but I assure you it's not. This one is printed out of Sunlu's glow-in-the-dark PLA, so after it's been exposed to UV light, whether from the sun or an artificial light, it'll actually glow in the dark. So you can again set this up outside during the night or put it in a windowsill. That way you've got a little happy Halloween that can be seen even when it's completely dark out. Pretty cool. Now, kids and adults alike love candy for the most part, myself included, but if Halloween's just coming to an end, maybe you don't want to go out and spend $5, $10 on a bucket or something to put the treats into so kids can come pick out their candy. This print takes about 5.5, 6 hours. I printed it out on my P1P, so at this size, you will need a 256mm build plate or larger. If you have a larger printer such as the Plus 4 or an H2S, a K1 Max, or even a K2 Plus, something like that. Something with a larger build volume, you could scale this up as large as the printer will allow. It's just a little cauldron with some skulls on it to hold your candy. Now, if you're one of those people who just leaves a dish outside with a little sign that says, please take one, this will work great for you. If you are somebody who enjoys opening the door to give kids their treats, I don't see why this wouldn't work, but there's also one that's got some handles on it to make it easier to carry, and I will be sure to link both of these down in the description below. I chose black PLA for this one, but it again could be printed out of any color, and you could even start it Halloween morning so it's ready by the time trick-or-treaters come later in the day. Along the same lines of trick-or-treaters coming later in the day, got a Halloween bucket. Now, this might look a little small, but it's actually pretty good sized on the inside. You could probably fit 4 to 5 full-size bags of Sour Patch Kids in there, plenty of Tootsie Rolls, plenty of those little tiny candy bars that typically get handed out during Halloween. Not to mention, it's got a handy little handle. This prints out in 6 separate parts, So the handle can be printed out on a separate machine. It's got 2 connectors on each side. One slides in through the outside to the inside, and then it screws in to hold it in place. And then of course the bucket can be printed out on any sized printer above 180 millimeters in this size anyway. I did scale this particular print down to 90% just so I had enough filament. I was running low on some of the orange filament that I had. But if you do print it at 100% scale, just be aware that it probably won't fit on your A1 mini size printer. It should still fit on the Flashforge's 220 millimeter build plate, but again, scaling it down to 90% or less, you should be able to fit it on pretty much any 3D printer that you might have. It's actually really durable. Like, I was surprised when it came off the build plate. I printed this out with 3 walls just to make sure it had enough strength. I don't even think that was necessary. I think the standard 2 walls that the designer recommended would have done just fine. And I wouldn't even worry about something like this breaking. Because of the way the handle is printed in this orientation, it's got plenty of strength. And even the screws, although they're printed vertically, they kind of slot into each other on the inside here, so I wouldn't even worry about those snapping off. Especially at this size, you're not gonna be carrying that much candy in it, but plenty for a single person anyways. My next print just finished up over on the P2S, and it's this little happy Halloween door wreath, if you will. Slightly smaller than a traditional door wreath, but again, if you're just gonna hang it up for Halloween night, you can slap some double-sided tape onto there. It takes about 3 hours for it to print out, scaled down the way I had it. I think the original one was a little bit thicker. I just didn't see any reason to print it out quite that thick, so I did scale the Z height down to about half of what they had it set at, and it still came out plenty durable, still looks good. And again, if you have a larger printer like an H2S or a K2 Plus, something like that, you could even scale this up to 12, 13 inches, depending on the size that your printer will allow. They offer a couple different versions of this as well. If you don't want the Happy Halloween or any of the little faces on the pumpkins, you can just print it with the outline here, so it'll just be the standard pumpkins and black and orange background there. But that one takes a little bit less time, but I figure if you're gonna print something like this, you probably want it to say Happy Halloween, right? And then the last ones are something that we probably already have plenty of, we just don't always see them. They're little spider webs that go inside of your window panes. So if you're like me, I've got this door in my shop. It's got individual window panes there. These fit perfectly inside of those panes. You can tape them up with regular tape. With mine, I was actually able to slide them in between the trim and the glass on my door. And they just kind of give a little Halloween trick-or-treaty feel to it. So if you have a front door that's made from glass, you could even stick a couple of these up into the corner. The designer recommends double-sided tape. I feel like that would show through, so I might find a slightly different way of attaching them to the door. These print out in about 10 minutes. I did scale it up from its 1 layer height to 2 layer heights. I think the original file was 0.2 millimeters. And to me, that just felt a little bit thin. So I did scale it up to 0.4 millimeters as the Z height. You can fit 2 of these onto an A1 mini bed. Again, both of these take about 12 minutes to print. So if you only needed one of them, you'd be looking at about 6 to 7 minutes. So that was nice and short, sweet, got right to the point, showed you what I printed out. If you need some last minute ideas or accessories for your trick-or-treat night, be sure to check out the links in the description below. And let me know what you guys have printed out for Halloween as well. I know this one is cutting it really close to trick-or-treating and Halloween night. Again, less than 36 hours away at the time of posting this video, but most of these could even be printed out on the day of Halloween and finished up before you have to go trick-or-treating at night. I know they keep pushing that time closer and closer to like dinner time. When I was a kid, they used to do it at like 8 o'clock at night. Now it seems to be like 6 o'clock that they're sending people out to do trick-or-treating, but it is what it is. You can still get these prints done in the morning, send them off overnight before you go to sleep, and they'll all be done in time for trick-or-treating. And again, if you have any better ideas or things that you've already printed out for Halloween, be sure to link them in the comments section down below so other people can see them and maybe print them out for their Halloween. That's gonna wrap this one up, nice and short, sweet, right to the point. I will see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next one. Take care.
Please like and subscribe to the channel.